Casting New Lives presents Richard Skipper Celebrates. Every show is a celebration. Each show, Richard delivers the artists you love, showcasing what makes them unique. Never gossipy. The antidote to a sometimes hectic world. Now, here's your host, Richard Skipper.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special edition of Richard Skipper Celebrates, the show where I celebrate artists and their bodies of worth. I've been doing a little research. I'm going to bring two very special men on the screen right now, Roy Reams and Charles Busch. First of all, happy birthday to both of you. I want to let you know I've been doing a little research. And I want to let everyone know out there that if you want to bring magic into the world, the best time to conceive a child is around November 22nd, which is exactly 9 months to the day before today, because both of you were born on this very special day. Hello, Leroy and Charles. How are you both doing in the midst of this crazy world we're now in?
Better now seeing you and Charles.
So let me ask you both, and Charles, we'll start with you. How are you doing, really, in the midst of all this craziness that we're now in?
I feel rather guilty to say, but I'm having a wonderful time. I mean, I really should. Oh, God, it's been so awful, you know. But no, I'm so busier than I have been in years, and you know, I seem to when the world is going downhill, I rise like a phoenix, as it seems to be, you know. So, you know, I don't know. Like, I've all sorts of interesting projects going on. I can't quite believe it, because you know, otherwise I am rather alone in the here in my area in the Bohemian Quarter, the West Village. But no, I'm doing fine.
And what about you, Leroy?
I'm doing fine too. You take advantage of the time that you're given. I'm selling our house, my house now, in Connecticut, so I've been very busy going up there. And I recently, unfortunately, had a bad fall that I'm getting over, but I'm fine. Let's not talk about that. It's too depressing. But, you know, the only thing I regret is that I can't go to the theater and see a lot of my friends. I miss that terribly, including the two of you.
Now, have you embraced? I know that we're here today doing this, but have the two of you embraced the world of technology with Zoom meetings and doing everything online?
Yes,
a little bit, but basically, I'm technically challenged. So, you know, through the help of my friends and my younger friends, I managed to get through it, but it's not to my experience. But I've managed to do it, yeah, and it's been fun.
Yeah. I mean, it's challenging to me as well, but gradually I can do it unless suddenly something throws a wrench into it and there's some new thing that I'm asked to do. But generally it's fine, and I've participated in about 5 or 6 of these virtual play readings, and it's been
you have much better lighting than the rest of us. So who the hell you got there working magic?
Well, I kept having
a light bulb, and Richard looks terrific, but you look sensational.
I invested in this big professional. It's called a ring light that sort of fills me. Except that I look so wonderful that I just keep preening. I have to really work hard to listen to all of you, because I'm just sitting here just. You know, I should put a big Post-it right on my face here. But yeah, no, I invested in that. But yeah, Leroy, you look a little bit like you're looking into your crock of gold.
During this pandemic, I'm going to let my hair grow natural, like Richard's. But it's not going to be that color, because if it were, I would have not had a problem before. But, you know, I think it's a fun thing to see what happens, because you can always go back, as Roz Russell said. Keep the bottle, honey, I may be going back.
Yes.
And on that note,
speaking of the drab, yes.
You know, one of the interesting things about this time is that we are all learning about, well, they say social distancing. I don't like the word social distancing. I call it physical distancing, because I think that this time brings us closer together than ever. And speaking of closer together than ever, somebody wants to say happy birthday to both of you.
Oh my gosh.
Dearest Donna. Hi, baby.
Donna, is your microphone on? We can see you. You look great.
I think we got her.
Donna, just say hello.
She can't hear you.
Okay, somehow she's muted there. Donna, you may want to leave and come back.
I don't think she can hear you, Richard.
Okay.
Use sign language, try to or put a sign saying call.
We'll all do this. Hold on. You two talk, and I'm going to send Donna a very special message. Well, while we're waiting to find Donna's sound and everything, I have somebody else who wants to say hello to both of you.
Great. Oh, hello, Harlan.
Hi, Harlan.
I love being Donna's standby.
Okay.
He knows the
I'm
stuff.
here.
Now we can hear you. We can see you. We can hear you. You look great.
I hear you, Donna. Can you hear us? Donna? Hello, hello. She can't hear us.
We can hear her. Should we go?
I'll send her a text message. Just talk amongst yourselves. And
I
I will
have a question for you, Charles.
Yes.
Being that we're on the cusp, the last of Leo and the first of Virgo, tell me, do you think you're more a Leo or a Virgo?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can. Can you hear us?
Can you see me?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
We can't hear you.
I just sent her a text message, so hopefully she'll get that in a second.
So Charles,
You're going Leo. I really am completely both. I straddle both, Leroy. Yes, because I can be the life of the party, but there's another part of me that's rather withdrawn and analytical.
yeah, very true. Very true. And of course, our dear friend who's no longer with us, Marion Seldes,
Yes.
is always with us on this day because we spend it together. And
Yeah.
let's introduce some of the other people we share it with. First of all, Gene Kelly,
Uh-huh.
my idol, Irish, August 23rd. I love him to death. And then, of course, Patricia McBride and Albert Stevenson, who is John Kander's husband, and Barbara Eden, who else?
Barbara Eden.
Yeah, there's a long list of odd characters.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Harlan, how many of your clients have birthdays today?
Today,
Yes. It's every day. There's like a list of people that you're...
Barbara, you just mentioned
Barbara Eden.
Barbara Eden, so she shares it with you. I'm going to post something for her in a moment. So that's it on the today reference.
So Harlan, are you? Where do you live in LA?
I live up now. I'm up in Altadena, up in the hills.
Oh, is it lovely?
Oh, it's beautiful up here. I'm with you. I'm one of those who really wasn't affected by the pandemic so much. I've been working more now.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
Emmy Awards alone because it's all virtual.
Right.
So everything is done from this desk that I do.
Well, Ruta Lee alone keeps me busy.
Oh my God! I mean, that woman amazes me. And are you on her email list? Are any of you on her email list?
No, but I would have loved to have been in her old house on a Laurel Canyon. I never got in that house.
Oh, she's still there.
For a long time, but she still live there?
She still lives there.
Oh, I should go up and knock on the door.
Orson Welles and Rita Hayworth lived there before her.
Wow.
Wow. Not at the same time, or did they? Yes,
No,
they did.
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
they did live there together. Yes.
She just runs her ass up and down on the wall to pick up the glamour.
Wow. Wow.
Really?
Now, Harlan, I know that you've worked with Leroy. Have you worked with Charles as well?
Yes, I got to work with him when he was doing his cabaret. Scott Morrow introduced us.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful.
And I couldn't believe when Harlan walked in, and this movie star walked in, and then somebody said, "Oh no, he's the publicist." Wow, what's something wrong here? He looks like he's the star.
Well, the first time I met Harlan through our mutual friend Carol Channing, and Harlan walked in, and I had heard Carol talk about Harlan, and I was expecting this very old man. And when Harlan walked over and introduced himself, I was blown away.
No, when he walked in, I turned into Betty Hutton. Betty Hutton. Yeah,
I can remember I was so impressed. Of course, I was spending a lot of time looking at your biceps of your pianist, but
he did say pianist. I want to be clear.
Biceps on the pianist.
Yes.
No, Charles blew me away. I mean, from the very first rehearsal, I was you were just so brilliant. You were so brilliant.
It was so much fun. Boy, that was the first time I guess I'd ever done cabaret in LA, and I wanted to so badly, and good friends of mine presented me, and got Harlan involved, and it was just thrilling. It was one of my great experiences.
Oh yeah, no, Scott Morrow called me. Scott Morrow called me and asked me if I'd like to work with you, and I said, hell yes. And then Leroy, I have to tell you, I knew who you were long before we ever met.
Yeah.
And Betty Bacall was talking about you when I was working with her, and I asked her to introduce me. She never did. And then Jerry Herman, he said we were talking about people we admired and people we wanted to work with, people we wanted to meet. And I said I want to meet with Leroy Reams, and he went, "Oh, that's easy." He never did. Thank goodness for Carol Channing, because she eventually did the introduction.
Yeah. Well, I owe so much of my career to Carol, and so much of my work ethic, because she was a producer's delight. She did everything. I mean, when you work with her, you never had to do any of the press. She did it all. She gave 110% when she was on the stage. Mm-hmm. She hardly ever missed a performance. And when she did, it was because she really, really was in a condition where she couldn't walk on the stage. Mm-hmm. And I know that we did a production of Dolly in Reno where we did 2 shows a night, if you can believe that. And we all got some kind of a bug, and everybody was out of the show. Carol and I were still going on. And one night she came in, she said, "How are we going to get through it tonight?" I said, "Carol, if we can't sing, we can talk." And we basically did that. And after the performance, she came in after the show, hugged me crying. And she said, "Thank you, because I couldn't have gotten through it without you." Because we gave each other support that way. We were cut from the same cloth when it came to the show. So you think I met her in 73, and she was responsible for so much of my career. And through Carol is where I worked with Jerry Herman. Mm-hmm. So, I owe her a lot. I really do. And her husband, Charles Lowe. I have to give Charles credit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is Donna? How are we doing with Donna? Because
I texted her, so she looks great, stunning as always. Donna, Donna,
in the shade of the banana tree, 2 ladies in the shade of the banana tree, 2 ladies in the shade of the banana tree. Keep fanning, Donna.
You can't hear us, or
I keep texting her. I'm sorry about this. This is the magic of technology.
I know. I feel like we're kind of ignoring her somehow, but we can't get to her.
No, I'm going to take her off the screen and bring her back on and see if that makes a difference. Donna? No, she still can't hear me.
I tried saying like, Donna.
I don't know that she can even see us.
Yeah, maybe she can't even see us.
I could moon her. Do you want me to moon her and see if that makes sense?
Well, I may lose my Facebook account.
Maybe could you on your ass?
Depending on what they see, honey, there may be some old class rings and a roses.
Couldn't you, Leroy, take your pants down and write in magic marker on your ass, Donna, call?
Yes.
Help.
Charles,
hold on.
We'll never be able to work together because we get in so much trouble.
I'm going to, text her. And for all the people that are watching, I'm sorry about this. We have a big audience. That's really great.
She got it. She called it. She's calling.
Okay.
Yes.
Of course, Harlan. Now that's really good.
Thank you, Harlan.
Big buck.
Harlan on it.
Barry Cedar says no mooning. Oh, there's Donna. Hello, Donna.
Hi.
I'm going to.
I can't hear you.
Okay. Leave
What can I do?
Leave the room and come back, and that may
Actually,
help.
we can hear her.
What? Okay, leave the room. All right.
Leave the room. You just leave completely, and then come back, and we may be able to. We can see you. You look stunning.
She's going to go to the kitchen now.
Okay.
Okay. How do I get out of here?
Just close out.
Okay.
And just leave. At the bottom it says "Leave Studio." Do you see that? Perfect. Okay, she'll be back in a moment. Yes. Now Scott Barberino from Nightlife Exchange says, "Mooning, love it, so old school." That's our finale today. So Donna, you still there? Okay. Yes. So she'll be back in a moment.
Now, of all of our birthday mates, Charles, do you have a favorite there? Because mine was Gene Kelly. I could talk about him for the rest of the interview. But
I wish I had a list of all the birthday. Somebody sent me earlier crazy list of people born on this day, but I should have printed it out or something. Well, you know, I should talk a little bit about Marion Seldes, our dear friend, and
love Marion.
She was just a magical person, and
yes.
I met her through our mutual friend Barry Cohn, and oh God, I just adored Marion.
Yeah.
She one time we went to the Jewish Museum to see a big exhibit of Sarah Bernhardt's memorabilia, and the two of us were in such a state of rapture that all the ladies who were kind of the tourists there were staring at us. They didn't recognize us. They just thought we were two kooks who were just carrying on in such rapture about Sarah Bernhardt. Well, we had so much fun.
And she was a wonderful actress, and she was old school. She stayed in the show until she got a better offer.
Yeah. No, she was the high priestess of the theater.
Yeah. Well, we never won the most promising newcomer with the Theater World Awards. Neither one of us ever won. And so one year we went to the awards ceremony and wore sweatshirts that said, "Still promising." She had a great sense of humor.
Oh, yes. But just so full of love and enthusiasm.
Now, did you ever meet Gene Kelly?
Oh, I never met Gene Kelly, but boy, I sometimes just turn on TCM just to watch him sort of turn around so you can just sort of see his ass, you know.
Hello.
Oh my God, you know the number in the American in Paris Ballet when he's the Lautrec Chocolat character. My God, so brilliant. And his widow is a Facebook friend of all of ours.
Yes.
And so it's fun having all the things she posts about him. Yeah.
Well, when you think of his career and what all he accomplished and all the things he did, he did get accolades, but he should have done more because he contributed so much with his choreography. And I'm not saying let's not compare that because Fred Astaire is the best. And of course, if Donna gets on, she can tell you a good Fred Astaire story. She's there.
Oh, go tell the story.
Tell your Fred Astaire story, Donna.
Can you see me and hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I'm. Oh, really? Oh my God. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you talk about Fred Astaire?
Well, Fred Astaire. The MGM movies. That's why I came to New York, because of all of those movies and Fred Astaire. And so many dancers say the same thing, But then to meet him, he was a fan of A Chorus Line, and when we went to Los Angeles, he came to see the show. And Leonard Gersh, who was a great mutual friend, who wrote Butterflies Are Free, right? We went to, oh my God, what is that restaurant that the Trader Vic? Trader Vic. That was his favorite restaurant because it was dark and they always put him in a corner table so he wouldn't be accosted by the patrons. And so we went with Leonard Gersh, Michael Bennett, myself, and Michael and I were so stunned by being in his presence that we couldn't speak. So then we went to his house for for a cocktail or whatever, just to be in his house and have a little drink. And it was a modern, like 60s with a circular driveway. Anyway, I was taking it all in. We got inside and I thought, I have to speak. I have been silent the whole time. This is not polite. So we were standing at the bar and all these little paintings and pictures of he and his sister in London. And there's this painting of a horse's head. And it looked very primitive, like Grandma Moses kind of style. And I said, well, that's a very interesting painting, Mr. Astaire. And he said, oh, yes, Cole painted that many years ago. Cole Porter. So then I couldn't speak. But he knew that we were nervous, I think, because he was so generous in talking about his dance partners. And he was, he loved Rita Hayworth. I don't know if that's fair to say. To everybody for public consumption, but Rita was his favorite dance partner. Have you heard that before?
Yeah, well,
He loved the whole story. He was a true gentleman, but he loved working with her because she was such a wonderful spirit and dancer. Yeah. Well, and Barry Chase, he said, I would have never done that TV show if it wasn't for Barry Chase, because he was madly in love with her. Yeah. And he would never done a show like that for her. But then she got married.
I got the dish. I know the dish on the whole thing.
You do?
I do. What? Hermes Pan said, he said that she was his, Rita Hayworth was his favorite dance partner. It was never publicized because he didn't want to.
Of course not.
But they always said his favorite dance partner was Gene Kelly. They said that about each other because it kind of got them off the hook. Yeah. But the thing about Rita Hayworth, then later, of course, Barry Chase, he was in love with Barry. And he asked her to marry him.
Really? I know, he broke his heart.
Yeah, and she said
this guy who was in oil or something in Oklahoma, right?
And she said that the thing was she loved him, but she didn't love him that way.
Oh, not too bad.
We know what that all goes down to. But then later in Fred's career, he did do an interview. I think it was I may be wrong about the place, Australia. But he did finally in his later years say that he had to admit that probably his best dance partner probably in the end was Ginger Rogers. He finally came around to saying that in his later years.
Yeah, because they're so
was the best.
Yeah.
She was the best with the two of them, I think. Anyway, everybody else check in.
What?
Charles.
Everybody else check in about who you thought was his best dance partner. Fred Astaire. Are we here?
Yeah.
Richard.
I can hear you.
Now. Harlan, are you there?
I'm here.
Charles.
Donna.
I'm here. Where's
And
Charles?
AJ, I see AJ in the corner.
Oh, you can see me?
I can see you, so be careful.
Okay. So I was. The gremlins are out. You can hear me now. Am I correct?
Yes, we can hear you now. We've lost Charles.
Believe it or not, my favorite dance partner, and this may come as, a big surprise to all of you, with Fred Astaire was Lucille Bremer. Wow. I thought the two of them together created such magic when they were dancing. Mm-hmm. And I know it's not one of the classic films that everyone gravitates to, but Yolanda and the Thief happens to be one of my favorite movies visually to watch. Mm-hmm. Coffee Time, I think, is one of the greatest dance numbers ever filmed at MGM.
Well, Richard, Donna, I have a question for you now. We talked about Fred because Gene Kelly was born on, August 23rd, which is what, Charles and I are celebrating today. But did you get to meet Gene Kelly? Gene Kelly?
I did, yes. Yeah. Yeah, I went to dinner with Gene Kelly at what is that old on Hollywood Boulevard?
Musso Frank's.
Yes, Musso Frank's. That was one of his favorite places. Well, everyone's favorite place.
Me too.
Yeah. And he was with his date at that time, and I don't remember. I don't think he was married. Yeah. I'm not sure. I think it was his face. And he was very reserved, but very serious. I really liked him, but he was very more subdued.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think Debbie Reynolds might haunt me for this, but Sid Charisse was my favorite.
Oh, I love Sid
Now, Sid Charisse, those legs that would go on for days and days and days.
I danced with Sid Charisse. I danced on her first television special.
Really? Tell us about it.
Well, first of all, she was absolutely charming and lovely and so beautiful. And when she got made up for the special, she walked out of her dressing room and we all just fainted. She was absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
And her legs were incredible. But I'll tell you whose legs were the best. Juliet Prowse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned Juliet because I love the story that you tell, and if you don't mind telling it now, about Juliet flying you into Vegas do you mind telling that story?
No, I don't mind at all. It was through charity. Because when I did the show initially, my first job in New York was for the Juliet Prowse nightclub act, and I got it. And so after we went on dinner act, I came back. My next audition was for Sweet Charity. I got it. And when I was out of town, I called Juliet and I said, this show is so great. You've got to play this part sometime. So she did get the part. And when she was doing it in Vegas, I was in LA. And she said, when are you going to come to see me? And I said, I'll be there. Well, that weekend, there was a knock at my apartment door. And it was a messenger and with a round-trip airline ticket saying, get your ass to Vegas. And so I flew up. I was met at the airport by her then secretary, Betty. And she gave me the keys to Juliet's Mercedes. She said, take me back to the hotel. Juliet has a reservation for you at one show. For the first show, she doesn't want to see you till the second show. And she's having a party afterward, which I did. So there I was alone getting all of this first-class accommodations in Las Vegas. So after the show, and she was wonderful in the part, we went up to her suite. We had a great party. And it was in my honor, which was very flattering. And afterward, everyone left, and we were in the suite alone. I said, well, which door is my bedroom? And she said, well, honey, there's only one bedroom. I said, what? You've got two beds in there? So I said, no, there's a king-size bed, but you could just sleep with me in the bed. So I went in. Now, I'm a Southern Baptist boy. So I had my pajamas, tops and bottoms. I crawled into the bed. She walked into the room, bare-ass naked. And she said, oh, honey, I hope that I sleep nude. I said, well, honey, I've seen you naked backstage. We got in the bed. We had a nice conversation. I kissed her and I said, thank you, honey. I've had such a wonderful time. I rolled over and I looked up at the ceiling and I said, if my friends could see.
The dream of every straight man in the world.
Honey,
there you are.
All those boys who used to call me all those bad names in Covington, Kentucky, I would have loved for them to have seen me there.
You didn't feel like just for the hell of it, just having the wonderful experience?
Do what?
You didn't feel just, oh, why not? Just, have the experience.
Oh, you mean talking to me?
Yes.
What? Who are you talking to, Charles?
To you.
Oh,
He's talking to you.
Why I didn't do it just to say I did?
You made him very nervous, Charles.
Is that what you want to know? Well, Charles, this may come a shock to you. I'm not a lesbian.
Now, some of you may be wondering, AJ Hunsiger is here.
Yeah.
He has a wonderful Facebook page celebrating all of you. And I thought that he would come in and say a few words about his favorite Roy Reams or Charles Busch.
Because I told Donna last night.
Oh, great. Well, welcome. I'm glad you're here.
Yes. Happy birthday, Charles and Leroy.
Thank you.
Yeah, Jay.
You guys were at my birthday, so.
Yeah, that was fun.
I'll tell you something. AJ and Richard know more about us than we do ourselves. I called them and asked them, do you have a picture? Do you remember this? Was I there?
Well, Harlan, remember when Carol? Well, of course you remember when Carol's dress was stolen.
Yeah.
And Harlan called me to see if I could, get a picture quickly. And now I'm going to bring someone on, Leroy, and this is from your Ohio days. So no one else in this room is going to know who this person is, but he has a very special connection to you. And he reached out to see if he could be a part of this. And I said, absolutely. So I'm going to welcome Chuck Gregory to the screen.
Oh, God. Hello, Chuck.
Well, hello, Leroy.
Let me tell the story. The first time I saw Chuck, he was a little boy, and he played Jerome, one of the Polynesian kids in South Pacific, when I played Lieutenant Cable in college.
Uh-huh. Actually, I think Cable was the second South Pacific production. I think you were in the chorus or something at UC, and then you played choreographed. You played Cable and directed in Music Caravan in Daytona Beach. And my parents and you and Paul Rutledge put together that whole Music Caravan thing. And it's a wonderful memory. I think I was 12 at the time. Yeah.
And in that company was Marcia Lewis.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, Leroy, you've been very fortunate to be on both sides of the footlights. Do you really, do you have a preference? Sure. And well, speaking of both sides of the footlights, I have someone else to share with you.
Look out.
Okay. Look out. Yes. Flo Lacey.
Oh my
Hi,
God.
darling. Happy birthday, my sweetheart.
Talking to the mic, we can't hear you.
Oh, wait a minute. I must have myself muted somewhere. Hold on.
No, we can hear you. You just need to turn up the volume a little.
Okay.
But, you know, while we're getting Flo set up, Leroy, do you have a preference? I mean, obviously you're a phenomenal entertainer, but do you enjoy directing as much as you?
I do. Very much so. Very much so. And I think that I made a big mistake back when I did Carol's last revival of Dolly, not to have gotten more into directing and choreographing. But the reason I didn't is that I got scared that everyone thought I didn't want to perform anymore. I would rather perform. I'm not being in the footlights and in the spotlight. But everyone kept saying, "Oh, you're not acting anymore," and it just scared me. I didn't want to give up performing. But I should have done more. Direct. But the thing about when you direct and choreograph is that when the production is done, many times you have to take fault. Show they don't always blame the actors, but they do the creative people. So it's a double-edged sword when you direct. Yeah. And also to sit there on opening night and hear the music and not be on the stage and watch everybody else, it's very difficult for me.
Yeah.
I like the rehearsal process and the creative process, but I don't like once the show opens and you don't get to do it anymore. That's what I miss.
Yes, I've felt the same way as an author. You know, when the play opens, you serve no function. And well, like with the Tale of the Allergist's Wife, you know, I think the cast enjoyed when I would visit, but it's ultimately a place of work, and you're not. It's not cool. It's just be hanging out in the dressing rooms. It's a place of work. So yeah, but I tell you, it was easy to kind of feel a little, like there was no a little alienated. You know? Mm-hmm. But then I have to say, when one night I was lying at home watching, I think Survivor, and I looked at the clock, and it was 8:30, and I thought, oh gee, Linda Lavin, she must be just coming to the end of the second scene of Act 1, and working very hard. And I'm just sitting here watching TV and got my 10% of the gross that I just earned.
It's terrible. I
feel very good about the whole thing.
Charles, after a show opens, how often do you visit the theater to see, you know, when a show continues to run? How often do you come in to see it?
Not that much, because I just don't. First of all, it's a little frustrating at times if you go and things are, I don't know, are awry. And you can really serve no function. You can't do anything about it, really. So I go a couple times. When Valerie Harper took over,
who's also born on our birthday.
Yes.
Oh,
it was yesterday.
Yesterday.
Valerie, when she went into The Allergist's Wife, and was put in the show very quickly. I used to she used to like having me come see it and give her feedback and so I saw it a lot with Valerie, and she was just so darling too. It's wonderful being with her.
Charles, I have to tell you a story about Flo Lacey. When we did Hello Dolly, which is the first time we met, and the year is 1978. Oh my God. But anyway, I had never met Flo, didn't know her, and she didn't really know me. And the first day of rehearsal, of course, I was told prior who was playing Mrs. Malloy, and they said, oh, a very dear friend of Jerry Herman's. As a matter of fact, he was the reason she was cast. And I thought, oh, I can imagine what she's like. So I thought, probably this overweight mezzo soprano. That was what I was expecting. Well, now during this, Flo Lacey was told that Carol Channing's friend Roy Reams, who by the way did get me the job, she called me on the phone. Hello, Leroy, it's Carol. Darling, I'm going to do a production of Hello Dolly, and I want you to play Cornelius Hackle. But darling, Jerry Herman and Lucia Victor don't know you, darling, but it doesn't matter. You got the part. So anyway, so Flo says to me after I give her the spiel, I said, you can't imagine what I thought you were like, knowing that you were Jerry Herman's best friend. And Flo said, imagine what I thought when I was told you were Carol Channing's best friend. And I'm telling you the truth. I fell madly in love with Flo Lacey, and making love to her every night on the stage was a highlight of my life. And if I were straight, I would have married her. I loved her to death and still do.
Hello, Flo. How are you?
I'm so happy. I love that story, Leroy. I love when you tell it.
Flo, how many shows have you and Leroy actually done together?
Well, we did quite a lot, and we did a lot of An Evening with Jerry Herman together.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so.
And I can say, because Flo's too shy, I will say it's in Jerry Herman's book that she and I are his two favorite singers. Mm-hmm. And when we were doing Hello Dolly, the first time that we sang, Jerry Herman jumped up from his seat and said, "These are the voices I hear in my head when I hear my music." It's about as good as it gets.
Sorry, you're making me a little verklempt here.
Well, it's true.
And then, of course, he chose us to do the concert act that we did together, which was
incredible. I thank God I saw it, loved it, loved it. Now, speaking of music, I have someone else who's here. I think we're going to be able to hear him, but we may not be able to see him because he is out in the woods somewhere. So, hello, Tom.
Oh, is Tom with us? Oh,
yeah, Tom. I know that he's there. He's in the woods. He's going to try to connect with us. We'll be able to see him or hear him in a few minutes. How did you and Tom come to work together?
Well, Tom and I met Tom when I was just starting out in the East Village, doing Vampire, Lesbians, and Sodom in this bar, and he thought I was somebody important, even though I wasn't. So we became friends, and then when we moved the show Off-Broadway, we had Tom, the composer, and he composed the music for the Off-Broadway production, and then we stayed in touch. And then about 8 years ago or so, I hadn't performed in a cabaret in many years, and I got an opportunity to gay cruise, and I had a musical director. I had no act, but it was good money. So it was fun to be on the road with. Tom Judson, he's just adorable, fun, and so he said yes. So we threw it again with the quick act, and it was another career for me for 8 years. Another career to get find him.
So Tom, are you able to hear us? Okay.
Tell him to get out of the bushes.
Well, he's left us. Whatever you said, Leroy, set him off. He's gone.
Maybe he'll find his way back.
While we're waiting for him to come back, I have a little film clip that I'm going to share with you. Well, here he is again. I will bring him on in just a moment. I'm going to show this clip first of all. Someone who wanted to be here today, but was not able to be here. And he sent us a little message for you, Leroy and Charles. So I'll see you on the other side. Hold on.
Hi, I'm Josh Ellis. How wonderful to be here to wish happy birthday to Charles Busch, of whom I am a fan, and Leroy Reams, for whom I am a fan and a friend. Charles Busch, we share one thing in common. We adore Zoe Caldwell, and that will bind us for life. Leroy Reams. Oh, okay. We have been friends since 1974, when Leroy was in Lorelei on Broadway, followed by Hello Dolly in 1978, and then in 1980 with 42nd Street. I was the press agent of Lorelei, the press assistant, I should say, and the press agent of 42nd Street. So the people that have binded us together are, in fact, Carol Channing and David Merrick. Aren't we lucky? Okay, now this coming Wednesday, no, it's Tuesday, is going to be the 40th anniversary of 42nd Street opening on Broadway. Can you believe, Leroy, that it's been 40 years? Oh my God, I can't imagine it. Now, let me tell you, I love Leroy on stage. As the press agent of shows, you see the show so many times, and I have to say to you, Leroy is never less than 100% professional and fabulous at every single performance. But he's even better off stage. First, interviews. Okay? He gives the best interviews on the planet. The only person who was able to give better interviews than Leroy was Carol Channing, and she has given him the mantle of being the best interviewee imaginable. Number two, backstage. Leroy's dressing room is ground zero for every piece of gossip that happens backstage. If you want to know anything about anyone in any show, just go to Leroy's dressing room. But then, best of all, Leroy, the storyteller. Leroy has the best stories ever. He is just he's like a machine. You just turn them on and out they come. One after another. Hilarious, wonderful, touching. He is amazing. So I love you, Leroy. I loved your beloved Bob. You are a dream of a person, and you enhance the lives of every single person you know. Everyone always says, "Oh, Leroy Reams, I love him." Well, what a great thing to have everyone say. And it's 100% true. Much love. Happy birthday to both of you. Bye.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Well,
Now that, of course, is Joshua Ellis, and I have a special phone call for both of you. Say hello.
Hello.
Can you all hear? It's Sandra Lee.
Ah.
Yes, I spoke to him yesterday. We had a wonderful conversation. We had Charles and I. We hadn't really spoken in a while, so I got very nervous. So I called him, and he's just fabulous. And so this is just happy birthday to the two of you. I didn't even know it was your birthday, so now I'm really excited. So I don't know if you can hear me, but
Can you all hear, Sandra?
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, I send you my love and my respect, and I am so relieved that we're all still here.
Amen.
Yeah, and eat good food and get rest, and be sure to wear your mask.
So do you all have your mask?
I'm not going to tell you where mine is now.
Leroy's not going to tell us where his mask is.
I can't hear very well.
Sandra, I love you, and I will talk to you later in the day, okay?
That's perfect. So happy birthday, both you guys. I love you very much and respect your work very much.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Sandra, I love you. I'll talk to you later. Now, I have another clip that I'm going to share with you right now from Alice Ryback.
Happy birthday, Leroy. Alex here, wishing you a very happy birthday in a somewhat unhappy time. But you have brought us all so much joy in our lives, and I wish you the same amount of joy that you've given us. And I hope the rest of the year just gets better and better. And I can't wait to read your book when it's done. And I can't wait to give you a hug, a real one, not a virtual one. And most of all, I can't wait till we make music together again. I really miss that. So here's hoping between now and your next birthday, we'll get that chance. And just sending you so much love. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Leroy.
Sorry about that. And here's someone else waiting in the wings. Hi, Pam.
Hi, sweetie. Can you hear us? Here we go again. We're at the age. We're all technically in that. I thought I'm not alone.
Pam, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Minute.
Oh, good.
Here.
There
Looky
is
here.
a delay. Where are you, Pam?
I'm in Cincinnati. Of course, I'll have to have some skyline today because it won't. For his birthday, some three-way at least. Hi, Leroy. Hi, Doug. Hi, Charles. Hi, Flo. Oh my God, this is so fun.
You know, and hopefully Tom is going to get here. Pam, do you have a favorite?
Wonderful to see you. As you can see,
He lives in a high rise on the Ohio River. They have bad connection because of the Ohio River cabin.
They see her like it's like still photos of her.
So,
What?
Pam, how did you and Leroy first meet?
what do they do?
Pam, can you hear me? It's a little crazy. Well,
I was still in school at CCM, and he was yeah, I can hear. Can you hear me?
It's a little jagged.
Oh, brother. I could always just call on my phone, I guess. I don't know.
You can do that, or you can leave and come
I
back
know.
and see if you have
This
a better
is nuts,
connection.
isn't it?
Yes. Do you want to leave and come back?
I'm going to I'll try to get it. I'm going to try to get it on my phone. I'm going to
Okay.
try to get it on my phone instead.
Okay. Great. So,
But I'm going to turn you off. So go talk about yourselves.
We'll talk amongst ourselves. So, Harlan, you have had the pleasure of working with both Leroy and Charles.
Right.
Is there a favorite memory or an anecdote that you want to share with our viewers with either one of these gentlemen? Or you can just say anything that's on your mind.
There would be too many. There'd be favorite moments. Seriously, Charles, I think you're one of the most brilliant performers. I can sit and watch. One of the things I get. I mean, it's so funny when the director says,
That's not Pam.
What?
That's not Pam. That's a male voice.
Well,
And of course, Charles knows a lot of strange people.
Anyway, it's Harlan. What were we to continue,
I was going to say, we were talking earlier about how the director doesn't have to stay and watch. The publicist comes every day. And with Charles, it was a pleasure absolutely every time to see every night, every rehearsal, everything. And Leroy, behind and in front, of course, we were usually hanging with Jerry and Carol or Carol Cook or, whoever. So we're laughing all the time. So with Leroy, it was constant laughter. There are no special moments because they're all special. They're just sitting in the audience, watching the rehearsals for the Jerry Herman Memorial. Leroy, you remember that?
Yeah.
Just surrounded by, Tyne Daly and Bernadette Peters and Kristen Chenoweth and Fines. I mean, come on, how can that not be a memorable moment? Yeah. All surrounded there watching what was going on. And so I've been blessed over and over and over and over again, because every single moment with either one of these two men has been an anecdote worth telling, and you don't have time for all of them.
Well, I have to say that with Charles and myself, we do have a lot in common, because we care very dearly about what we do. And whenever, we perform to that 100% capacity of what we have at that time. And anyone who had a chance to see Lily Dare, it was one of the most brilliant evenings in the theater I've ever experienced. And I hope, Charles, someone recorded that so people will have a record of that, because it was so brilliant and you were just divine.
Oh, thank you. I love doing it. It's really my favorite thing I've done. And Lincoln Center did a beautiful multi-camera tape of it. So it's there. And then we did a Zoom reading of it, which was awesome. Oh, there's Tom Judson.
There's Tom and Pam. We have both of them.
Oh,
and they're both looking great.
Tom,
Leroy,
I'm supposed
I
to
know
be the
you have
tech-savvy
talked
one
for
of this
years
partnership.
about writing your memoirs. Are you working on those at this time?
Well, I wrote down a quick, comprehensive thing to put it just in my head. But I really need someone who's a book writer to edit and then to embellish where it needs to be, because I speak better than I write. I tell a story better than when I write it down. I suddenly become too scholarly, and it's not, I think, as interesting. So I need help. But I've got the stories and a lot of dish, but it's not for the dish value. It's for as much of the truth, or at least the truth the way that you remember it. And also working with all of these extraordinary people. For instance, here we have Donna and Pam on screen. I sat there opening night of Company. And I saw my colleague friend Pam Myers stop the fucking show with her number on opening night. Then Donna McKinney gets up and dances, and not only does she stop the fucking show, they can't start it. They start the next one, they're still applauding, and they raised up in the bed Susan Browning and what's his name, and they couldn't stop applauding.
That was his name.
Truly.
I remember that. That's absolutely true, because I was looking from the other side of the stage watching Donna, because I must have watched that number 150 times at least, because it was so incredible to watch, and they could not start the show, and Hal ran backstage. He wanted her to come out and take a bow.
Well, honey, he wouldn't have had to told me that. I would have been out there in a minute.
I refused, so I didn't think it was proper for a character to break the fourth wall. I actually said that to Prince.
That's fabulous, though. That's because you're such a pro.
Well, I'll tell you something about Company that I think Pam and Donna know this story, but Donna maybe not as much. But during that period, I was actually interviewed by Ruth Mitchell, because Michael wanted me to play one of the men in the show, because that sex dance, which Donna did by herself, I guess we'd call it masturbating by then. But, Michael had wanted to make it a duet, and he wanted me to play one of the men in the show to do that. But of course, and this is what Ruth Mitchell said, one of the many times, by the way, in the beginnings of my career, she said, "You're just too young." She said the parts are for older men, and she said, although Donna and Pam and a lot of the girls are younger, it works better for an older man. But
don't you know?
Hard for you because of your age, and that's why it became Donna's big, jump into stardom. It was just incredible. Pam too, by the way.
You would have had to be dancing in Speedos or something, because you saw her first costume.
Well, then, honey, I could have, not now.
Leroy, you still have it. You know that.
Still have it.
Well.
So, Leroy, have you told everyone how your therapy's coming and what's going on and everything.
Well, my therapy is doing better. Physical therapy. I mentioned earlier that I had a fall, and but I'm recuperating. And it was backwards, but I wasn't in high heels. So But I'm fine.
So Tom, you're with us.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Welcome to the party.
Good.
The late Tom.
The late Tom Judson. Tom, Charles tells us that you're in the woods somewhere. Where exactly are you?
Both literally and figuratively. I live in a little cabin in the woods up in the Hudson Valley.
Okay. And are you? I guess there's a lot of socially distancing going on there. Do you have neighbors?
Yeah, my life is pretty much socially distant. I do. One of them has. I think my neighbor has the original air conditioners because it's so loud. With the doors closed. But I do have a couple of neighbors. But they're not that close.
So, believe it or not, we are reaching the end of our program, and I want to say to both Leroy and to Charles, a big birthday. Believe it or not, this entire program was put together in the last 24 hours. So, it's a testament to everybody that's here. How much we all love both of you.
Yeah.
In addition,
I'll say we put on makeup.
It's not only, and when Josh Ellis was speaking, and that phenomenal photo that was taken by Martha Swope of you leaping in the air,
yes.
I think is probably the most iconic image in all of Broadway theater.
And I did that pose. I did that pose when Gower Champion went to the bathroom, and I grabbed all the kids and got Martha, who's a friend. I've got a great idea for a shot, and we set that up while Gower was peeing.
Well, I want to thank you so much. I did reach out to Carol Cook, who's a little under the weather right now. But she wanted to be here as well. And we could have had, a cast of thousands, but I want to thank each and every one of you for taking the time to be here. And
thank you, Richard, because it was the best birthday present I could have. I love playing with Charles. We do it almost every year.
And I know we've had a lot of technical glitches here, but we got through it, and this is our new reality.
That's
Happy
right.
birthday, you guys.
And love to all of you. I love you all so much.
Thank you for
So,
This is great. Thank you for including me.
Before we all sign off, Charles, do you want to final remarks to everybody?
Well, just I've had such a strange career because can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm sort of I've been Broadway and have not called Broadway. I just love, but I'm grateful to all of you.
Thank you. And Leroy?
Well, as I said, it's the best birthday present ever because everyone on screen I love to death. And the fact is, we're celebrating. AJ has been so silent, but wait till this on the internet. He's going to post a terrible picture of me when I was 3 years old.
So, Leroy, Harlan, Donna, AJ, the late Tom Judson, who still came in. Pam, Flo, Chuck, Charles, thank you all so much for being here.
You're welcome, and happy birthday, Charles and Leroy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. Happy birthday, Leroy and Charles.
I love you both.
Thank you. Lots of love.
Everybody go out and have a wonderful day. Thank you.
I've been
I'll
out
call you,
for
Donna
years.
and Leroy. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.